All right, you know what? I forgot to go pick up my packages and I rushed home because I saw that they had dropped this director's take, so we might as well do it now. All right, I forgot my packages, but it's fine. As of like an hour ago, dropped this director's take season 16 on the horizon. I think this is an Aaron Keller. No, it's an Alec Dawson. These get dropped every couple weeks or every few weeks. Basically, you know, talking about state of the games, talking about what they're working on, what they want to work on, whatever it might be. So these are always cool. This one's from Alec Dawson, who's not the game director, but oh god, what is he technically now? He used to be the hero lead. He used to be like the lead game. Is he lead gameplay designer now? He actually might be I think he got a promotion. I forget what his title is now. He's like one step above that or something. Anyways, everyone, this is Alec Dawson, associate. Fucking hell, it's right there. Associate game director for Overwatch 2. All I had to do was read the first fucking sentence. This happens way too often. It happens way too often. You know that? I try to give context on something and then it appears. Like, how did I know that was supposed to be there? With a look at some of the many great changes coming in Season 16, the team has been working hard to perfect new additions like the perk system and our next hero Freya, while balancing classic favorites like 66 competitive open queue. Tons of information about our new game mode Stadium, and we'll be heading your way this week. Ooh, Stadium news. Hope you are all excited as I am, so let's dive in. Yeah, Stadium is what I've been looking forward to more than anything. I think Stadium will be really cool. All right, perk perfection. The introduction of perks last season added a new layer of gameplay and strategy to Overwatch 2, and players are still brainstorming their best choices of their favorite heroes and personal playstyles. The previous director's take recapped our AMA about perks. Thanks for all the great questions. And many perks have turned up in the mid-season balance patch. Were tuned up in the mid-season balance patch. Players have given us great feedback, and the team is continuing to refine the perk system. Certain perks are big hits, like Honest Shrike, more popularly Holy fucking shit, I just lost the ability to speak. That was crazy. Known as Double Nano, and Bastion's Lindholm Explosive, which gives explosive shells. These are impactful and transformative perks that enable meaningful change in your gameplay. Making sure perks for every hero tick those boxes is a big priority for us, and we're confident changes in Season 16 and beyond are pointing us in the right direction. Okay. So it sounds like they want to add more perks like those. I would think like more boring type perks, maybe like Genji's perks, or maybe what's another example of kind of a boring perk, like the Hog Toss. What else would you say is kind of boring, chat? I need some help here. 15 more ammo. I like the 15 more ammo. The Junkrat traps. Yeah, the Junkrat ones, the Widow Mines. Winston maybe? I like the right click one. The right click one's actually really nice. The worst one's the ones with drawbacks. Oh, Sombra's perks potentially. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. One of our biggest philosophies when designing and improving perks is the idea that there's never a wrong choice. You should never feel like you're picking a perk picking a perk is universally poor option. Maps, team compositions, enemy heroes, and personal playstyles should all influence your decisions, but one perk shouldn't be the default go-to in every situation. Interesting, okay. How exactly do we make sure we are hitting these goals? We look at a combination of what we're seeing in the data, like pick rate gaps and the amount of influence perks have in moment-to-moment gameplay. If we feel a hero has a less impactful perk set overall, we also wanted to offer them new options. There's also consistent iteration going on behind the scenes to dream up bigger and better perks for future seasons. I like the idea of that. I like the idea of that a lot. A good example for Season 16 is Sombra's updated perk kit. Stack Overflow, while impactful, doubled down on things Sombra was already good at rather than bringing transformative gameplay. It'll be replaced with a new major perk, Viral Replication, which allows her virus to spread to nearby enemies and will enable bolder team dives. Whoa, that sounds cool. COVID perk? Moving on. Mercy's previous minor perk, Angelic Recovery, felt passive, So we wanted to add something more active that brings strategy into the mix. Enter Angelic Resurrection, which gives 100 overhealth upon casting Resurrect. Players will have to judge if the risk of saving a teammate or behind enemy lines is worth the reward of enhanced survivability. Wait, what is the other minor perk? Is that the one that like you go further? Or you can like, it's increased GA range? That's a big change. That's actually such a big buff. Our newest support, Juno, will receive a new major perk that enables a more aggressive playstyle. Locked On gives a lower cooldown for pulsar torpedoes for every enemy hit, encouraging more active gameplay. While Reboots performed better after a recent adjustment, it'll replace the less picked Hyper Boost as a minor perk. So they're giving her a new one called Locked On, and then moving Reboots to a minor perk? Am I reading that correctly? While we try not to nerf perks too often, some options are clearly need tuning heading into Season 16. Sorry, Triple Blink Tracer fans. We think there's a good bar for the perks impact perks can have, but some may have gone a bit past that line and need to be dialed back. Players have also responded well to perks that bring back old components of a hero's kit, like Orissa's Protective Barrier and Hanzo's Scatter Arrow. We can't give away all the changes here, but another classic will be introduced in a different, less overwhelming way, a major perk for a certain icy DPS hero. Uh-oh. May Freeze coming back? Uh-oh. I'm scared. You know what though? The less I've played Overwatch recently, while playing more Rivals and Overwatch and doing Variety, because like I've been playing Variety for like the last year and a half. But now with Rivals and Overwatch stuff, I've just been doing less Overwatch, less Rivals, or less Variety overall, just because they're all getting more balanced out. Is it bad I just don't care about shit like this anymore? Like, yeah, it's probably gonna be kind of spooky, but like it changes the way characters are played, and I feel like it'll be fun for at least a few months or a few weeks or a few hours. And it's like, at that point, I'm like, you know what? I had a good day. I had a good week. Yeah, does it suck after like 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, but like you could fix it. Just like change it later. I'd rather just see new shit. I'd rather just try new shit. You know what I mean? Like instead of just, fuck, am I a casual now? Oh my God, I might be a casual. On the Wind with Freya. A few weeks ago, Freya swooped in for her hero trial. Her sky-high skill ceiling and swift movement abilities ended up being a big hit with our players. Her trial numbers were comparable to Venture's popular test weekend. Okay. If she hasn't wrapped you in her bola shot just yet, you'll have a chance to dive in once Season 16 launches. Though we don't balance around quick play data, it gives us valuable information about new heroes during their trials. Freya was a bit lower on the win rate side throughout her test weekend at approximately 43%, and we're receiving a few light buffs before her debut. Not surprised. She was pretty difficult to play, but like if you're really good at hitting your shots, really good with the movement, really good with the cooldown usage, she was good. But for especially a hero that people have only had for a couple hours on a weekend, you know, that's going to be, you're not only going to be able to get so good. The people who are going to actually be good at it are just like the crazy cracked out, like, you know, your GM master top 500 players with like good aim. Everybody else would probably be struggling a little bit just because like you don't have as much hours and not as much like mechanics behind it, especially a character like this. So probably a good idea, but wouldn't be surprised if they dial it back quick. Despite her explosive damage, Freya occasionally struggled to secure kills, so we've improved the reliability of her kit to finish the job. Her Rev Draw crossbow will now shoot 12 shots before max spread, increasing from its original 8. Wait, what? So now it doesn't have spread then, because it only has 12 shots, right? Bola shot's damage over time is now increased, as well as its max radius, giving her more oomph. Good idea. The ult was a little interesting sometimes. You'll also see some quality of life changes, like the option to bind her quick dash to a double jump input. Oh, I like that. Overall, we want Freya to be in a more comfortable place on launch, knowing players will get better with her kit over time, and we're really happy with where she's at now. Can I just say really quick, stuff like this really shows, like, okay, I need you to shut the fuck up for like 2 seconds, all right? Just don't say a fucking word until it's over. One of the things that's pissed me off about Overwatch for years is just seeing the constant layover. And every time I felt like we were getting close to like, holy shit, we kind of have people that know what they're doing. there's like a big layoff, bunch of people leave, bunch of people get fired, whatever fucking happens, right? The hero design people, the hero balance design team has now been basically the same team since launch or close to launch. I think it's like technically around March of 2023. And now here we are, like 2.5, 3 years later. And this is something we would have had to request before, is like quality of life stuff. It's already being implemented before the character even comes out. And I feel like that shows experience. It shows like you don't have to bitch and complain and be like about the stuff you just think is second nature. Like, why the hell don't we have that? It's like, it's going to be there from now on. And you could sit there and say, well, it should have always been like that. And maybe in some levels you're actually correct. But you got to remember, it's not always been the same group of people that have been working on this game. And the people that are working on this game now are different than the people that made Overwatch 2. And the people who made Overwatch 2 are different than the people who made Overwatch 1. It's just the truth. Just the truth. Okay, you can speak again. 6v6 thriving. Whoa. The hottest topic over the past few months has been the return of the 6v6 game modes, and it's clear that many of you are passionate about the option to dive in with a bonus player. Good news for 6v6 enthusiasts. We'll be continuing to run open queue with a 2-tank limit in both quick play and competitive throughout Season 16. That is probably the best option they could have chose right now. Good decision. Competitive 6v6 open queue was the third most popular mode in Overwatch 2 during Season 15, according to time played. Third? And it was until it was usurped by Totally Normal Watch's April Fool's mode. So, wait, what was number 2 then? Oh, it's probably ranked 5v5. No, sorry, quick play 5v5, ranked 5v5, and then competitive 6v6. That's what it probably was. Googly eyes may reign supreme, but 6v6 modes are holding their own, as are the standard 5v5 modes. On average, there's a 3-to-1 ratio of players choosing competitive 5v5 over competitive 6v6, respectively, but the 6v6 population has remained steady. Let me finish reading this, and I want to talk about that after. We were curious about how the 2-tank limit would pan out, but most games landed on the classic 2-tank, 2 DPS, and 2 support setup. Tank players in 6v6 clearly enjoy having another tank buddy in their corner, and no matter which role they choose, players are loving shorter queue times and the ability to swap roles within a match. There's also a heightened sense of chaos that some people just can't get enough of. Queue times across the game have remained healthy, and the data from Season 16 should give us a better sense of how 5v5 role queue and 6v6 open queue can coexist in the long term. Stay tuned for more information over the next few weeks as we gear up for Season 16 and see you on the servers. All right, I want to talk about the 66 stuff really quick. I've actually gotten a unique perspective as someone who played it a ton back in Overwatch 1, played it a ton when it came out at the start of this of mid-season 6v6, like when the mode came out, and then backed away because I was busy. Holy shit! I don't know if you can hear the lawnmowers and stuff outside. I had some rival stuff I had to do. I had a tournament I had to get prepared for, and then I also started playing some like hardcore Minecraft, other stuff. Regardless, though, I want to tell you as an outsider something I've noticed. I noticed after the first like 2 weeks, even the most die hard of like either the streamers or players or people who like even online were talking about playing 6v6, over time slowly gradually went back to 5v5. And every time I was clicking through people's streams, I was seeing them back in 5v5 again. And I was like, why is that? I think 6v6 is a more difficult, more fun, more chaotic, insanely good game mode. However, the 5v5 is more comfortable, it's easier to approach, and also the structure that it brings is comforting for many gamers. And that you know when you click that button, you're going to queue up and you're going to play a certain thing. And you know that every game you're going to have structure. You're going to be playing against 1 tank, 2 TPS, 2 supports. You don't have to worry about filling every single game. You don't have to worry about the chaos of like, am I going to play this game and I'm only going to have 1 support? Am I only going to have 1 DPS? That doesn't really happen, but you know what I'm saying. Or I'm only going to have 1 tank, or we're going to have no tanks. People like the structure. 6v6 doesn't have role queue, 5v5 does. Well, let me give you a small news flash from my POV. 6v6 is not possible in this game with role queue. The queue times would be so unbearably long because like even if we talked about the same, like throw it back to a year ago when everyone's arguing about 5v5, 6v6, why 5v5 is better, right? one of the biggest arguments, myself included, for why 5v5 is better than 6v6 was queue times. That is not changed. That is still absolutely true. If you turn into 6v6 tomorrow, the queue times would be so long. You know what's great about the 6v6 queue times right now? They're almost instant. They're very quick. That's what people like. They want to get into a game. They want to hop into the next game. They want to play. But there's a gap, right? 5v5 has queue times that are a little, like about the same, if not a little bit longer than non-role queue, but they're not too long. So people are willing to put up with it for the structure. 6v6 will have such long queue times for roles like DPS or even support that they will not put up with the times for it. So you have two options. You have 6v6 open queue or you have 5v5 role queue. And a lot of people want 6v6 role queue, and I don't even know if it's possible. Granted, we could do a 6v6 role queue test, but I think the queue times is going to be the big one. I do think it is very interesting, though, that the queue times for 6v6 on average were probably about the same, if not lower, than for 5v5. And I saw most other of the streamers that were still playing, and even people who talked about it online, like Twitter, Reddit, whatever, slowly going back to 5v5 as the test went on. It's very interesting, but that's the truth. I had a ton of fun in 6v6. I would love to see that become the norm. But it's looking more and more like what the path we're gonna end up taking is that at least for a while, we will have them in tandem. We'll have 5v5 over here, we'll have 6v6 over here, we'll have open queue, we'll have role queue, and you'll balance each of them differently. How long is that sustainable long term? Who knows? One I think will end up becoming on top, will win out in the end, but at least for now, enjoy the show. Zen Anna. You guys are gonna complain about Zen? Welcome to my world. Now you understand where the years of Zen talking about where it came from. Haha. Oh, welcome. Hey, no offense to the new gens. Welcome to the fucking show. Hey, welcome into the community. All right, I won't push you away, but I will side eye you a little bit on the way in. Come on, hurry up. Get in here. MMR is a good one I could give you. MMR maybe I could give you for sure. I could agree with that. Sometimes the games were a little wonky. Sure. I don't think it's because it's a test mode though. The balance was thrown together too quickly. New game modes are designed. Nah, I don't think the balance was that bad. I don't get me wrong. It's not as perfect and refined as 5v5 balance is at the moment. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that was a good take for the previous, like the first time they tried stuff back last year when they were first like trying Kingmaker and stuff like that. A lot of the balance was really bad, but I don't think the balance for 6v6 is horrendous. Like it's not perfect, but I don't think it's enough to destroy the game mode, like and turn people off from playing it. We played double shield for years. You know what I mean? I think the bar is a little lower. Yo, by the way, Doom Radar, thank you, big 5 gifted. Appreciate you. Thank you. Much love, dude. But oh yeah, there you go. That went on a little longer than I expected. There you go. There's your Overwatch. Season 16, 6v6 dev vlog. So, this just popped up, chat. Wait, is that the super chats? Are they behind? Because I don't have one on my thing. Stadium gameplay trailer premieres April 14th. So, you know how earlier you asked me in chat, Meltro specifically, I know you're here, because you were like, why no Overwatch today? Because it's the day before Rivals. And I was like, no Overwatch today. And you're like, why? And I was like, there's one of those times where I can't say anything, and I would love to tell you there's a reason why I'm not playing Overwatch, and I want to, but like I'm not, because like I'm a human being and I also like to be excited for things. And so I couldn't say anything to you at all. Period. I knew about this. The gameplay trailer premiere on April 14th. Wait, you want to? I'm clipping it? I knew about this because we're actually going to get to play it early that day. Well, not early that day. So like when after this comes out, like after the trailer is shown later on that day, we're going to get to play it early and stream it. So it'll be a play test, but like a public play test from home not public play test, like a stream for like us to get to play it and show you guys and see how things have changed from Spotlight. And also, I might be assuming here, I don't know if this is actually true, so I'm probably talking on my ass, but maybe even some people that didn't get to go to Spotlight get to play too. I don't actually know how many people were included with it, but Yeah, that's why I wasn't playing Overwatch today, because I told you guys literally 2 months ago that I was excited to play the fuck out of Stadium. And then I know that I'm going to get to play this a little early, which is next week in like 4 days. So like, how the hell am I supposed to go back and play Overwatch for the next couple days when I don't really want to play that as much as I want to play this, right? I'd rather just play this. So yeah, so next week on the 14th, this gameplay trailer is going to launch. And then later on this same day, we're going to get to play it and stream it. So the trailer will go live at 9 p.m. or sorry, 9 a.m. And then we get to jump in and play at 11 a.m. So about 2 hours later. So to answer your question, I just want to say, do you know how often this shit happens where you guys come in and ask me to play something or ask me to do something and I'm not doing it at the moment and I have a very good reason, but I literally can't tell you, and how often you're probably disappointed and I'm not giving you a real answer and I literally fucking can't? You know what I mean? It happens more often than you'd probably ever want to know. But yeah, looking forward to this. Looks cool.